Okay, guys, we are on now page 111. So hopefully you guys have a chance to look at, you're on page 111 when I'm walking through this with you guys. This is kind of what you guys are going to be doing over the next few minutes. So, as you have already discovered, when studying functions, graphs can help you see a trend of the sequence, and at times can help you predict the next term. The graphs representing the arithmetic and geometric sequences from the previous activity are located at the end of this lesson. And you guys should have had those cut out already. It's page 117 and 119. Cut out these graphs and match each to appropriate sequence and glue it to the section of the graph organizer. So if I look at all of these sequences here, let's look at all of them. All right. So, we have graph 1, graph 3, we have graph 5, we got graph 7. These are just a smattering of them. Okay. So, if I look at these, all right, let's start looking at these. There are some that look the same and some that don't. I could say, if I look at graph 1, it's increasing. Okay. So, I could create categories for all the increasing ones if I wanted to. So, let's see. Well, graph 1 is increasing. I know graph 9 looks like it's increasing. Graph 5 is decreasing. Graph 7 is decreasing. This one's kind of doing some crazy stuff here. That's alternating. And this one, graph 3 is decreasing. Now, even if I look at, let's look at the decreasing ones. If I look at these 3, right here, if I look at these 3, even those, break up into certain categories. Now, if I even look at it, maybe it might be good for me to say, hey, these are all decreasing, but these 2 are really special, okay? They look like they are a straight line. So maybe, if I try to break them up into lines, that could be helpful. So why don't I try to find all, there's 5 of them that are lines, and just put those out here. All right, so I got 4. I got 6. And I got 8. Okay, so all of these are lines. So if I look at these lines, what do I notice about these lines? Well, if I look at lines, one of the big things that you should notice is that lines are either increasing at the same rate or decreasing by the same rate. Okay? So, if I look, one of the things that I'm going to write down here on page 111 is that I'm going to say, all right, if I have a line, if it's a linear function, I know that it increases or decreases at the same rate. Because they are all going up or they are all going down at the same rate, okay? And when I think of that, linear functions, if I look at these sequences, if I look at these 2 sequences, okay? If I look at B and A. All right, so B is going up by 2 every time. I'm adding 2 every time. I don't know, I wrote down 4, but I'm adding 2 every time. Here, I'm multiplying it by 2. So if I look at this, this looks like it's going to be going up at the same rate. So when we think of linear functions, we're going to actually think of them as being arithmetic sequences. Okay? And that's something that's important to know, is that arithmetic sequences equal linear functions. Okay? Arithmetic sequences equal linear functions equal arithmetic sequences. So, I know that, so I will know that, like, graph 8, 6, 7, 4, and 5 is going to go with page 121 to 125. Okay? That's going to be related to each other. All right. So how do we find matches? So let's look at one. Let's look at page 121. Here's 121. All right. So when I look at this, there's a couple things that I look at. Okay. What is the common difference? It's 2. Okay? So that means that, we're adding 2 every time. So in that case, I know that the graph is going to be going up. So it's going to be increasing because it has a slope of 2. Okay. Now, what else do I know? I know that the first term is -4. So I want to look at each of these terms. All right, so I'm looking for an increasing function that kind of has a first term of -4. So if I look at graph 8, is that increasing? No. No, it is not increasing. It's going down. Okay. If I look at graph 5, is that increasing? Nope. It is not increasing. Okay? Let's look at graph 7. Well, graph 7 is a line, but it's going down. Okay, so that's not increasing. So that takes us with 2 left. Graph 6 and graph 4. All right? So, if I look at graph 6 and graph 4, they're both increasing. Now, the next thing that we're going to look at is what is the first term. So what is my first term of the sequence? Like this is 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. So the first term for this one looks like it's -20. Well, is that the first term of my sequence? No, the first term of my sequence is -4. Here, what is the first term? Well, it looks like these look like they're going up by 2, so we would say graph 4 is starting at -4. So that is the sequence that matches, the graph that matches the sequence. And we'll just tape this down. Okay? All right, so let's just look at one more of these. Okay? We'll just go, I'm not going to do H, but let's look at E. All right, so if I look at E, all right, so what do we know? It has a common difference of -2.25. So, in that case, it's decreasing because my difference is going down. That means it's decreasing. And then my first term is 4. And where do I get that first term? It's just right there. It tells me the first term is 4. So, let's look at all of my decreasing ones. All right. So if I look at graph 8, in my case, this is like 600. So these are all decreasing. But if I look here, well, I don't know about that because it looks like it says that the first term is like 600 something. So it's not that one. Well, let's look at these two now. All right, so graph 5 and graph 6 are decreasing. if I look here, this is going up by 2, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Same thing's happening here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So if I look at this one, all right, so we're looking for a first term of 4. In this one, it looks like the first term is 6 something. This one, it looks like the first term is 4. So that one matches. Okay. So that is a match. Okay. So what I want you guys to do with these 3 other ones is try to find a match for those. Okay? Try to find a match on the pages all the way up to page 125 that are arithmetic.